Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the barren hills of Tennessee. Yes, the home of Alvin York. Alvin York, yes, I thought it'd be appropriate this week with the old Mark III out, Lee-Enfield. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool, 303 British. That's a beaut. I should have brought the bayonet. I will next time, okay? I have a beautiful bayonet for it, and it's a beautiful rifle. A brass butt plate, yeah, that I cover up with this ugly rubber extender. So glad to have you out this week. We'll take a few shots with that. Enjoy that. I have not fired that thing for a long time, and I can tell I was looking for the sight because I was about to line up with one of the ears, the protective ears on that front sight, which would be an issue with that rifle. You know, could be. So they also got brought out the Zenith again, MP5. Thought I'd show you. I want to take a couple more shots before I send it off. Got a new stock for it. You remember in the video, just posted that, you know, a little over a week ago. The following stock I broke somehow. Yeah, the stock is made by someone other than Zenith, and you know, they sent me a new one. So there we go. I don't want to give away a firearm, as I said in the video, with a broken piece on the stock. So anyway, but I'll take a couple more shots with that before I give that to the Tennessee Firearms Association. Yeah. So for the fall auction. So anyway, yeah, here we are. My gosh, what, the 17th of December? Santa Claus is about to head your way, maybe, if you deserve it, right? You think you deserve it? Do you think you deserve a visit from Santa? Coming up, and not much more than a week, right? So, but only for those who believe in Santa Claus, right? So, yeah, man. Here we are, not too bad a day, and I have to say, you know, December, usually not so bad. Get into January, February, weather is really iffy. And I don't know, it might be the first year I actually wimp out. I'm just getting less tolerant of really cold weather. I can handle cool weather, and I can handle hot weather. I'd rather be 110 degrees than be 25. Yeah, I really would. So I can handle the heat really well. I don't like really cold weather. So anyway, I hope you're ready for Christmas. Reminder again, over on Patreon, I got up through Too Much Talking, the videos 1 through 7, you know, over there. Don't forget, and you know, we survived the tornadoes. Yeah, sure did. Didn't get blowed away. Appreciate all the thoughts. People were writing me and asking me about it. I saw online on comments and Facebook and different places that I skimmed through. And I think I posted on the Sunday video, you know, a pinned comment, and maybe even in the description. Keep in mind, I always do that if there's something I really want to convey to you that's not in the video, or I don't know, timely or whatever, might pertain to that video. Often if I make a mistake in the video, something that really does need cleaning up, you know, something was even dumber than what I normally say or something like that. Rather than redo the video, I'll pin a comment or put something in the description to maybe say, well, I misspoke when I said something. Sorry about that. The caliber is actually, you know, something like that. Okay, rather than redo the whole video for one word or something that maybe I didn't notice. And we hate to edit a video. If we know about it before we render it, might render out a second or something, I guess, just I don't know. But I'll put it in the description. Watch for that, pinned comments and such, okay? So yeah, we lost power for over 2 hours, but we didn't, and the tornado was headed right for our place originally, and I was getting stuff in the basement. We were ready to head to the basement, getting the cats to the basement, and even lanterns. I had one down there, but just in case the Generac didn't work, or you know, because I just knew the power was going to go off. probably, and it did. You know, for over 2 hours it was off. But the old generator popped on, and like it always does, about 15 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds, and then things are back to normal. And you don't even know when the power comes back on. The transition there is like so smooth, you don't even know it. Maybe a flicker if you're really watching for it, but not really. So that was nice. But man, they got hit in Clarksville pretty hard, and parts of Tennessee, Madison, and where else? Springfield. So it was all around us on all sides. Just, boy, is there anything more random than a tornado? Now, if you live on a mountain in Alaska, you're probably not going to have some random tornado, right? But in terms of where they can occur, they are just, boy, you talk about rolling the dice. When the storms come, and of course you're more likely to have a tornado if you're living out in the flat plains, you know, Kansas or something, or Oklahoma, I guess, or Mississippi. You know, there are certain areas that get hit harder. But if you're in an area where a tornado is, you know, entirely possible, you get that kind of weather, then in that area, wow, it is just sort of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's hit that little town, or, you know, in Ohio or wherever, Kentucky, Tennessee. Let's take out that person's barn and that little town, or this large downtown area, whatever it might be. Happened in Clarksville not all that long ago. Just really destroyed so much of the downtown area. And I don't remember Clarksville being hit before, because I went to school there, you know, for 3-4 years, and have, you know, been around here for a long time. But yeah, tornadoes, man, aren't they wonderful? Whew. Talk about life not being fair. They are equal opportunity, man. They just plow in, you know, and scary stuff. No doubt about that. Okay, can I shoot this thing again? All right, I got a couple more rounds in it. 303 British. And again, this one was made 18, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, sweet rifle. I think these are my favorite Enfields, the Mark III. Oh, how about a bowling pin right here? How about that? Oops, trying to hang it up. How about that gong again? I'm not sure where I was holding incorrectly on that buffalo, but let's try it again. All right, must have held correctly that time. So, pretty neat. The 303 British is a nice round. Now I got a variety of stuff here. I'm shooting some Full Metal Jacket. What was I was going to show you around. 303 British. That's what it looks like. Nice big old bullet, rimmed cartridge. Yeah. So a little bit different. Okay. Nice. 303 British. I should shoot this thing more often. Beautiful piece of wood. Yeah. In fact, I should just carry it around. Put the bayonet on it and carry it, don't you think? Yeah, man. That holds 10. I've talked about these before. And sometimes I'll put 10 in it, or 8 or 10, and I don't like the clips for the Lee-Enfields. But, you know, 10 rounds, a lot of people think it's the, I've talked about that before, they think that's the very best bolt gun because it holds 10 rounds. They like the way the action is so quick. I don't see that's really any quicker than a Mauser, or .3 Springfield, or whatever. But the 10 rounds is fine. It's great. You're starting out into battle, you know, but still, when you start reloading, then I'm not sure there's that big an advantage. You know, you can put 5 in at a time, which the clips hold, right? Yeah, we got one right here. I mean, the big advantage is you got more rounds in reserve, I guess, you know, and then if you did want to need to fire fast, I know there's reports of the enemy, the opposing side, thinking that the the British had machine guns because they were firing so many rounds so fast at them, through these things and all that. But it's a little bit overrated, I think. It's not just twice as good because it holds 10 rounds. It's not twice as good a bolt gun because it has 10 rounds and others just hold 5. All right? You still got to, once it's empty, you get 5-round clips. You start out with the same thing. So anyway, if that makes any sense to you, probably doesn't. And speaking of that, well, let's shoot this thing. Yeah, I got a mag here. Yeah, get it dirty again before I give it up. But I may not get another chance to shoot one of these for a while. No, I like the MP5. Again, this is a Zenith. This is ZF-5L. This particular model. And I've already talked enough about the longer barrel and all that. But pretty cool pistol caliber carbine. Let's do the old HK slap here and shoot something. Maybe I won't blow the target over if I shoot it with this instead of the 303 British. Nice. Bigfoot. I was bouncing back and forth between the Cowboy and Clyde, the Bigfoot. Yeah. Again, that's another nice thing about a pistol caliber carbine is you can have steel targets and shoot them just anything you could normally shoot with a handgun, pretty much. Okay, because it's a pistol caliber, right? And that's another big advantage in terms of, I guess, fun factor. Because I can't take this 303 British, or if I have a 30-06 out here, or you name it, 223, 556, AK, and just start banging away at these plates right here, and Mr. Cowboy and all this kind of stuff this close. And I can shoot 2 liters, of course, and bowling pins and paper, that ain't trouble, but a big difference between a high-powered rifle round and a pistol round, and even an intermediate rifle round, right? Like like a 556 or the 7.62 by 39. So that gives you more fun. Yeah, you really can. Something else I was going to say about it. What was it? It was right on the tip of my tongue, and I lost it. I know one thing somebody mentioned. Another thing, because I talked about in the video how like the PS90 or the P90. PS90 is semi, right? And then the P90 is the full auto version of that how it looks odd with a full length barrel, like I had and everything, and just like this. But again, it's civilian, it's pistol caliber, doesn't require, class 3 paperwork and all that sort of thing. And stamp, $200 stamp, and maybe a year to wait on, all that sort of thing. You just buy this thing. And someone mentioned how yeah, just like an Uzi looks really crazy odd with that long barrel. And I said, yeah, that's right. And in a comment, I answered, that is so correct. I should have mentioned that in the video. The Uzi is probably a better example than the PS90 because the Uzi really does look freakish almost, doesn't it, with the 16-inch barrel, the long barrel in it. And I should know because I had one when I bought my Uzi in '83, I think it was. Before I had it converted, and I did the paperwork, it was back the good old days, I had about $1,200 in that gun total, buying it, buying a new bolt, the $200 stamp and all that, to end up with a submachine gun, which I had for about 10 years before I sold it. But so the good old days, if only, I don't know, maybe I was a little clueless at the time, didn't realize what was coming. Did we know? There just wasn't as much information out there at the time, pre-internet and all that, but I could have scraped up enough money to buy 2 or 3 more if I had known that was coming, the Hughes Amendment, and that would be the end of that. I guess I was clueless, and I wasn't all that fascinated, with full auto firearms. I wanted one, that was kind of it, like I do now. I just have one. That may be cool to have one. That was kind of my thinking at the time. But if I had known that I just had a couple of years and then it was going to change dramatically, well, I think we probably didn't really know they were going to get so expensive either, even if we did know. Even those who did, but well, they'll go up some because, you know, things are changed, no more can be made. But, you know, who knew that it would be so dramatic by now. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, the Uzi, when I had it the first, I don't know, what, it seemed like I had it for 6 months or more, a year, I don't know, and I didn't have it converted, or while I was waiting on the bolt and all that, in paperwork, I guess mainly paperwork to go through, I had the long barrel in it. I remember taking out the dad's farm up in Kentucky, as at that time I didn't have my own place to shoot. Did I? You know, that was right there about the time I did have that first 5 acres out in Williamson County. Maybe I did have it there. Yeah, I did. I sure did, because I had it actually converted before I left there. I was just there a couple of years out on Coleman Road in the Williamson County. Because yeah, I remember my cousin coming down, who's passed now, and firing it with me. Yeah. Yeah, I sure did. When I got married, he was down and everybody, we fired the Uzi out behind the cabin. Yep, remember that. Okay, I'll get things remembered sooner or later. But anyway, I had it for a while and couldn't put the short barrel in it legally, and it wasn't converted. So I had the long barrel in it when I was getting to, and it was an odd looking thing, no doubt about it. But it was a great shooter. I remember walking around Dad's farm up in Kentucky with it, and I think maybe I fired, I've been the first shots with it up there, because I remember being surprised how well I could hit with it, and because it just felt kind of awkward, didn't have a great trigger, and with a long barrel, it seemed odd. So anyway, yeah, with that long barrel, you know, they can look a little different. But anyway, appreciate Zenith Firearms for contributing this to the cause, Tennessee Firearms Association. It'll go to. And I might shoot, I got my mag here with some rounds in it. Can I shoot it a little bit more? Yeah, okay. I knew you wouldn't mind. It's just, these are the last shots I will probably fire through this thing. All right. Who's that cowboy? All right, Zenith Firearms. Yeah, I know it. It was right after I was explaining in the video how these are supposed to be really durable and very, very well made. These Zenith Firearms, you know, MP5 clones or semi-clones and all that kind of thing. And then, of course, the stock road. But they don't make the stock, but anyway, that's the stock that comes on it. So, okay, so good. She's back in shape. All right, y'all that are members or come to the banquet in September, the Tennessee Firearms Association, and hope you do. Hope you become a member if you're not of the Tennessee Firearms Association. Do a lot of great work in the legislature and elsewhere to preserve the rights we shouldn't have to preserve, right? But politics being what they are, we have no choice but to be involved. So anyway, hope to see you there. I'm there most years, unless there's some event. Sometimes it conflicts with a Friendship Indiana event or something like that. But I'm there most years and meet a lot of you. So anyway, that's great. That's great. What else? Anything else you're dying to know about? Someone asked me, it's funny how you interpret things differently. Someone was asking in a comment this past week, I guess it was, about Google. Wanted to know if there's an example of how people see things differently, you know, and without knowing the author or hearing the person's voice and how they say something, how they write something. Sometimes it's hard to know, isn't it? Somebody was asking me about Google, and I guess it looked like a personal questions, and ask if we pay taxes on the Google income, or does Google take the money, the taxes out before? And many of you have a YouTube channel and you deal with this or whatever. So I want to know if Google takes out the taxes, or we have to pay them and that kind of thing later. All that. And it's funny, I answered the person because I kind of saw, okay, it's just someone who's curious. Maybe they've started up a YouTube channel, or they have one and they are expecting some money, whether it's $35 or $3,500, and they're curious if tax is going to be taken out of it. I mean, that's kind of the way I saw that, really, but somebody else was really came after them about being personal, and being from the IRS, being some thug from the IRS. That's what they said, something like that. And I saw that later. Wow, okay, I didn't interpret it that way. But maybe it was. I don't know, but you never know. But anyway, yeah, I just answered that. Yeah, I just sent in quarterly tax. Just sent in my last quarter early. I always try to do that. Yeah, just paid by the quarter, and get 1099s from Google, just like everybody else, that supports us. But I always stay ahead of on my taxes. I got enough issues. I don't want to deal with that, as I said before. And if anything, I overpay. But anyway, I take care of that stuff promptly. I'm funny. I've mentioned that before. A little bit of a nerd, I guess, but I'm also so practical, and I like to keep my life simple as possible. Because man, our lives are so complicated, aren't they? And just out of self-defense, to keep things simple, I pay things early. I get a bill. Of course, now it's mostly an auto pay. But I've always as soon as I get it, rather than, for a while I would just keep track of it, pay them all the same month, day of the month or whatever, but then some are due different times, all that kind of thing. And once I got a little income ahead, years back, where I wouldn't have I gotta wait till I get paid before I can pay that, whatever it is. Then I just worked myself into a situation, and you've seen my budget spreadsheet. I did a thing on that one time out here on Sunday. I just immediately pay it. And then, boom, it's gone. So I don't have to ever ask myself, did I pay that? Did I pay the electric bill? Did I pay? And of course, again, now most things are on auto pay. But I would just pay it when I got it, exactly when I got it. And so I didn't ever have to ask if I paid. The answer is, if I got it, I paid it. It's paid. If it came to the house, it's already paid. And I just get it out of my hair, out of my life, okay? So it's done with. Anyway, so I do things early. A lot of people are not like that. My wife's a little bit like that. She does, I don't want them making a penny of interest off me or whoever it might be. I pay that thing is doodle. The 10th of the month, I'll send it in on the 5th or something, or the 3rd. Or well, meanwhile, I was lying around, and hadn't been paid. It just bothers me. I just write a check, get it out of here, get it going. So anyway, I'm kind of weird. I have to tell you that, right? Can I shoot this big bore gun now? Well, wait a minute. Big bore. That ain't right, is it? As compared with the Zenith. Because the Zenith is bigger bore than this. Yeah. 36 caliber, roughly, versus roughly, 30 caliber. Okay. So does that mean the Zenith MP5 semi-clone is more powerful? No. No, you know better than that, don't you? Most of you that are watching on a Sunday, which is a lot of you, I really appreciate that. You are aware that what makes something powerful is not necessarily the caliber, is it? Put a few more in here. It's the round, the specific round, as illustrated in the AK. Was it the short? Yeah, it's the short where I said the AK versus M16 short video, where I picked up both of them. And within a minute, I emptied both of them, and talked about the M16 being 22 caliber, the AK being 30 caliber, whatever. And oh my, I mean, man, that if you see that short, you'll see comments daily about that. Well, I wouldn't want an M16 and 22 caliber, you know, just so many people, but it's just, they just don't know that it's actually 22 caliber. Or they're not thinking about, when they think caliber, they're thinking 22 long rifle, you know, 22 cartridge, 22 long rifle cartridge or something. When we know what caliber means, it means the diameter of the bullet, okay? And there can be a big difference. 45 ACP is 45 caliber, and so is a 458 Win Mag. They're about the same diameter. 458's it's a tad bigger, but they're both 45 caliber. But I think the 458 Win Mag is a little more powerful than a 45 ACP, right? Yeah, I've owned both, fired both. I can tell you, 458 is more powerful. And this 303 is a lot more powerful than a 9mm. Have I shot the propane tank enough? I don't think so. How about the turkey down there in the holler? I could probably shoot Clyde with this, but I'm just not going to shoot him with high-powered centerfire rifles. He's too cool. Too cool. He's hardened steel, but he's very, very thin. Let's see. Try to throw that plate over there. Is that a hang fire? Or I sort of did something weird with the trigger there. It's maybe a hang fire. Or maybe I just jerked the trigger. Something weird with it. Oh, Mr. Buffalo. There's a bowling pin down there. Yeah. 303 British. We have a video or two on this. Mark III. What a beautiful, beautiful rifle. Historical, hysterical, and everything. Is this the one people give me a hard time about the sling being on backwards? I don't think so. I put it on like this because when it's against your body, that hook isn't going to hang on your clothes. I don't know. This is one. I got another one. It might be the other one. People will always tell me it's backwards. Oh yeah, nice. Love these old rifles. I'll tell you. Gosh, what else do you want me to talk about? I don't know. Again, I'm saving a lot of that for the too much talking videos, but I just cannot get over how many pharma commercials, you know, that you run in. And the one thing that bugs me a little bit about it, knowing what I know, I'm no expert, but on nutrition, learned a lot, is the emphasis on, oh man, so many over and over and over commercials about certain drugs that supposedly really obviate the need to eat well, basically. But they really, you know, you're treating symptoms. Treating symptoms with so many of those drugs that just are constantly pushed, never really getting to the source of the problem. You got people obviously, like, sometimes way overweight, you know, just take this little pill and solve all your problems. You're dancing around happy and acting healthy, you know, and everything. And oh wow. And it's kind of sad because it's just getting into young people's minds that already have that mindset that I can just solve all my problems with this little pill. Then I can just do whatever I want, you know, not exercise, eat junk, and I'll be fine. And it's just, it's sad. It's sad. It really is in a lot of ways. Speaking of young people, what advice do I have? Then I'll shoot this thing again. Do I have any decent advice? Yeah, let's talk about media. Let's talk about media a little bit again. My common topics. Media, of course, is influencing all of us, and be careful that you're not overly influenced, although we are. We think we're not, but we are. When we don't realize it at all, we think we're immune to it. And one of the things I think we don't think about sometimes is how commercials or media of all sorts influences us, not only by what they include, but also by what they do not include, what is omitted, what is not represented in whatever it is, movies, TV shows, commercials, or whatever. Think about that. Think about your neighborhood, how you live, things you do in a week's time. What things you do? Recreation, work, whatever. Well, TV and commercials especially. Well, your favorite TV shows, they want everybody to relate to, I guess, the activities in the shows, the sitcom, or the commercials, or whatever. But I know I'm not the demographic they're coming after, but I never was the demographic, really, when you think about it. I might have been age-wise at one point. But for example, how many shows, sitcoms or whatever it is, on popular TV, especially, and you got a family and all the things that go on in the family and different drama and things going on. How many times do you just randomly is the brother-in-law coming home, instead of coming home from work or something, or the bar, they're coming home from a day at the range, for example. We can all relate to that, right? Probably almost all of you go to a shooting range, you go somewhere and shoot occasionally, and maybe almost everybody you know does that. How often is that represented in media? Unless it's gun media or something like that, or a YouTube channel called Hickok 45. But I mean, where's the sitcom where they're even talking about that? Even Seinfeld or just anything, referring to an uncle. He couldn't make it. He and his buddy were going shooting. No, maybe golfing, maybe sailing, but never shooting or hunting. Or it's Wednesday night, they're at church, I think. Or just casual comments like that. It's almost never, unless it's a specific old movie or something, and they are intentionally getting away from pop culture and they're trying to represent the other side of the world. But in terms of pop culture, it's really like, and you name it, whatever your favorite thing is or what's big to you, that's not represented in popular culture, that's just omitted. Maybe it is church. Is that ever mentioned? Shooting? Anybody ever, hunting? Or so-and-so discussion in a sitcom about how many deer someone got that season. I don't know, what else? You tell me, what are some other things that so many people are involved in, normal people do on a daily or a weekly, monthly basis, or every year, whatever it is, that's just never represented. Just never. Commercials, it's always, especially drug commercials, they're always dancing around inside in the city, and with some, cool pop, classic rock music, quite often, that kind of thing. But I mean, it's also flat. There's just not a lot of variety that represents. So much of the world is not represented. Now they obviously are trying to represent every culture now, which is great. But in some of the other cultures, I'm sure there's so much that's not represented there either. That's just like, it's crazy, or that's not the way I act, or friends that I know act or talk, or it's not what we do, But anyway, it's interesting. So it's not only what is included, but what's left out, and through implication, it's like that must not be important if it's not in mainstream media. So we don't ever want to let those thoughts come into our mind, although they do subconsciously. Well, if it's not included in media, mainstream media, maybe I'm kind of weird because I like to go bowling, or I like to go to the shooting range, you name it, whatever else it might be, you know. So you would think, I don't know, I mean, like if I were the writers of a sitcom, some kind of weekly TV show, you would just think it would, you know, be kind of healthy. I'm the god of this script. I can write whatever I want. I can have a character who's a former Green Beret. I could have someone here who was a bowling champion, you know, or a shooting champion, you know, or a ski champion, or I can have anything in here I want to. And that you would just maybe have a lot of different sides of life represented. You would think that would just be something they would almost strive for, wouldn't you? But no, it's just all the run-of-the-mill, most popular sorts of things. It's kind of weird, you know? But it's always been that way. Just be aware of it. I mean, how many times in a sitcom has someone gone back into the bedroom when a friend comes by, and adults I'm talking about, and say, hey Larry, let me go show you the new Mark III, the Lee-Enfield I just bought. Yeah, I was at a gun show this weekend, and it's really cool. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Boy, I hate not shooting at you, Clyde. I don't mean to neglect you. I want you to last a long time. Maybe I'll take something that maybe I have a scope of some sort on it, and I'll put a round, like something like this, 30-06, 308, maybe even 223. I'll put one round on his foot, lower part of his foot, and then go over and see what it does to it. I don't think it'll hurt it, but I just don't want to damage the old guy. Okay. Thought the magazine was okay in this one. One more bullet. Let's try that turkey down there. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Always fun to shoot these old war horses. Lee-Enfield. Nice. Nice rifle. Enjoy that. Well, anyway, I don't know if I had anything to offer it made any sense, but if I make too much sense, then you will come to expect it, and I don't want that to happen, right? You want to keep expectations low. It's always been my motto. Keep expectations low, and then if you do say something that makes a little bit of sense, people are just, wow, they're impressed. It's like, wow, yeah, he said something halfway intelligent for a change. Yeah, works out, huh? Pretty good approach to life. So anyway, so we got the old and the new. Well, I say old and the new. This is a new firearm, but these things have been around. I forgot my what I should know about this. When did these things come about? Around 19. Was it 60? Maybe I forget. But so they've been around a good while. The old MP5 has, and yeah, pretty cool. I like it. I don't know if I've told you all this, I have entertained the notion of trading, essentially. Like I say, I enjoy a full auto occasionally. I enjoy having one. I don't have the bug as big as John and other people I know. I've thought about, once I get I scratch the itch with the AK. I get that itch scratched thoroughly, maybe in a year or something, or shoot the AK. I've got my Type 56 Chinese. Maybe I would trade that, or sell it and buy or whatever. It'd be kind of essentially a trade for an MP5, a real one, where really just the trigger pack's all I need, right? Yeah, they are so much fun, and boy, iconic, and they just work. They just work. I have had the pleasure, good fortune of firing several, and I've always enjoyed them as much as anything in full auto, I think, that I've ever fired. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you hopefully next week. Again, be on your guard. Try to behave especially well this week, so that Santa might come and see you. Just don't fall for any Santa giveaways on TikTok, right? Life is good.